a customer reached out to us based out of South America, and they're primarily working with mining opportunities down there, since there's a lot of raw materials that they collect in the several countries down South America. So where we were looking to enhance their capability was in the satellite realm. There was a pre-existing cellular solution that they were leveraging, but for a lot of mining opportunities, they are in remote areas where cellular coverage is generally not available because there's just not enough people for cellular companies really to put up networks there to make it worth it. They had a number of drivers that were transporting raw materials from their mining site all the way down to the port, where this was actually a very long trek, about 8 hours of driving, where a majority of it was not in cellular coverage. So these vehicles actually had a number of systems on board to detect, say, any kind of abnormal behaviors with the actual driving or driver, or something that might have happened to the vehicle, like a collision. I would imagine some of the treks that they go along may not always be the safest of drive, where it's probably not paved road. So they can actually get any kind of alerts regardless where they are now, to guarantee that their equipment is being safely handled, as well as there are no employees or people that may be in danger. When this particular customer came to us, they had a lot of questions on how they can get this kind of connectivity and regardless where they are. And they honestly didn't even know where to start off. So in starting engaging this conversation, it was more than, say, just connectivity, but they had questions on hardware, as well as the protocols, what needed to be brought on from a software perspective, and we were able to give them all those tools. So initially it was kind of talking about where these actually assets are located, so we can give them the best network solution needed, recommendations on different hardware where we can either provide them the actual hardware themselves, or if they have a vendor locally that they can even use with recommendations. And since this is something that we do all the time, we have the expertise in-house to actually even do a number of the coding pieces as well. We have our IoT platform that really centralizes a lot of the data and makes all the data from one location, and makes it very simple from an integration standpoint, as regardless of the network you have, we're able to provide the data from one single standpoint. And in this particular opportunity, we're even able to offer solutions actually on the hardware itself by writing custom software to be able to provide the needed features for their onboard solution. We worked with them to make the solution intelligent enough to use the least cost transportation. So in the scenario there are cellular there, the system knows to leverage that. But as soon as they may leave that coverage, the system is now intelligent enough to say, switch over to the satellite modem. So there's an always-on connectivity. Improvement-wise, I've noticed they've definitely been very attentive, and now that they're able to get all their data at all points in the time, primarily because these vehicles are very expensive, as well as when it comes to the drivers that are using them. I've heard a lot of times where the drivers may not necessarily be paying attention. So they can act in real time to prevent maybe any kind of loss. And the other way how we're seeing improvement is they are now seeing that they have so much more capabilities in using that satellite solution. Now that they're coming up to us with even more things that they potentially could do, see if any of the actual containers are being opened at any point in time, to be able to detect if there is any theft that might be happening and really identify when it's happening and where. So the gears are really turning when you're able to provide connectivity everywhere.